Went back to decolonizing therapy, looking over my notes because I'm currently preparing for a presentation with a coworker, and a section called gaslighting and capitalism fatigue caught my attention. Like, I almost needed to hear this or reread this section, and so I wanted to share it because we're feeling collective burnout. Like, we really are. I can see it. I can observe different degrees to it. So, will I get dinged for reading sections of it? I don't know. I do recommend people to read it. I do recommend people to pick it up. I do recommend people to take some notes throughout this whole section and go revisit it as many times as you need. But for right now, she starts off saying, let's call a spade a spade, right? Every system, business, and structure that has pretended to care about its practitioners has some self reflection and analysis to engage in before stating that they are providing equitable and fair labor. Burnout, I'm skipping some section. Burnout and deep exhaustion are not a reflection of your self care practices, rather, a reflection of a failing system as a whole. We speak about burnout and exhaustion as if it is the fault solely of the person experiencing this. Burnout is an expression of late state capitalism. Burnout is not a failure of our self care routine. Burnout is not a reflection of being irresponsible or overly involved with your students or cases. Let's call it what it is: capitalism fatigue. Our exhaustion and frustration is healthy, normal, natural, and even protective. It is our body screaming, time out. This is the part. When a community mental health center, a hospital, or a school has insufficient resources, directors and supervisors are forced to push more cases and work onto the employees beneath them. This is how mid-level management colludes, knowing that upper management continues to gaslight and lie to its employees, directors, and supervisors. Yes, even well-intentioned ones continue to shovel the stuff onto the shoulders of those already carrying and shoveling the burden. Yes, burnout can eventually begin to hack at our nervous system, but it cannot magically be cured. In North America, I'm skipping over, she lists like a couple basic self care, like suggestions that people always do, a spa, etc. In North America, many of us are indoctrinated to believe that hard work means waking up extra early, arriving early and unpaid, never complaining, and leaving after hours, and also being underpaid. This is a Eurocentric, deeply white supremacist way of thinking, and it is straight ableist. It does not consider someone's mental, physical, or emotional capabilities, nor does it consider whether they have children to care for, older relatives to care for, hobbies to tend to. It does not consider offering space to dream, create, or simply partake in a longer lunch or even naps. I literally just did a video on how your creativity is the first thing to go as soon as you're feeling burnout or capitalism fatigue. She goes on to say that she was unconsciously doing the labor of 4 to 6 individuals in the institution. Sounds familiar? Because a lot of us are doing that, right? This belief of doing more worth. I can do more. Look at me. I'm so amazing. I'm winning, right? You're getting exhausted. Then there came the pressure from the outside, the gaslighting. A group like this would benefit from a woman of color facilitating. We need a co facilitator to be a MHP or a POC. That happens a lot, right? Like, they start throwing ideas, but guess who has to step up and complete those ideas? She goes on to describe all the tasks that she was doing, all the support groups, the student needs, yet there was no support. No new counseling staff support, yet there were somehow new HR roles, new deans, and new professors. No one paid attention to the students or our own mental and emotional health. self-care time, right? Because they tell you it's your self-care. Even while attending things like therapy, acupuncture, support groups, Zumba, walking at lunch, seeing all the necessary health physicians, getting to sleep by 11 p.m. and setting boundaries, I could not wake up in the mornings. I felt irritable, alone, apathetic, enraged at the lack of funding, and deeply disconnected from my personal life. At the time, well-meaning colleagues and friends would tell me to do less or call me into their offices to remind me to take care of myself. I would often run into the bathroom and cry and want to punch a wall because I felt trapped. No one understood that I needed a part-time job. My salary alone was not enough to cover livable expenses, student loans, self-care, and I would be told to stop getting my hair colored every 6 months or to see my healing practitioner or coach less. Meanwhile, these were the spaces, actions, and individuals that, for the moment, kept me sane, kept me from losing it. Again, go read it, but last thing before I get dinged for reading this whole section, you cannot self care or self love your way out of systemic oppression. Point blank, period.